What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 19 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Skarbrand the Exiled Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have declared war very suddenly upon Gorbad, who left the Badlands to fight in the Empire, leaving all of his territories exposed. Not really the way we'd have it, as in if he had more stacks here, that would be great, but at least the Gobbos out of the Forest of Gloom did have a couple of stacks running around, so we enjoyed fighting them. And now are moving towards KARAZ-A-KARAK, just because it's on the way and is the last territory belonging to the dwarves here, who admittedly have not been having a great time against the orcs, ogres, and the Skaven. We also completed the Prophet here, so we do have 25 turns of additional XP, which will keep pumping out, extra XP out of Skarby's rampages, which as yet continue. Now, in terms of what we got to do this turn, I think that there's nothing, right? I think we were just going to end the turn, and then, yes, there was a fight to be had here, the last fight most likely against Kugath's faction. So we'll end the turn, and that will allow us to grab the Dragon Isles. Although, funnily enough, the Dragon Isles are great for almost all factions, but for us, they don't really do anything, do they? Because we don't really make money from settlements. But anyway, we are still damaged, of course, so the enemy will attack us, and it's a Pyrrhic victory, but without the piles of anti-large plague ogres and soul grinders and Kugath himself, I don't imagine they have nearly as much of a chance here. Go.
Litter the battlefield with their mangled corpses. Pile their skulls at the throne of Khorne.
Alrighty, we've been doing that, and I imagine we will continue doing so. Here we go, the last battle against the Poxmakers here, and I don't imagine it should be all that tough, just by virtue of the fact that it's mostly an infantry-based army. We don't need to do anything fancy, unlike the counter army we faced off against. Our piles of Gores, Khorne, and Bestie, plus the piles of Blood Beasts and the Chariots should be able to take care of the enemy just fine. Anyway, over on the right flank, we have some of the Plague Drones touching down, but on the right flank is where we deploy several of our units of Blood Beasts amongst the line of our Gores. Actually, frankly, we did that across the entire battle line, whereas our Chariots are over on the left flank. Skylek himself is in the meantime waiting to try to find the enemy lord, who he has closed the distance with, dealing about half of his damage in one hit and the full damage in 2 hits. Beautiful. I mean, Skylek hits for 1.5k, and then that's obviously amplified by the reductions in the weakness to fire damage, so yeah. Anyway, like I said, all of our Chariots we decided to deploy over on the left flank. I was going to run them through the infantry piles, but frankly, with the enemy closing in the distance with the Plague Drones and the Pox Riders, I decided to just allow the Gore Beasts to essentially hold those enemies off from annoying our piles of Gores, especially since I'm pretty sure the Gore Beasts should just be able to outfight them. The enemy may be cavalry and he may be chariots, but Gore Beast chariots aren't like other chariots, so they should carry the day. Otherwise, we might as well fight the battle as corningly as possible, so getting a bunch of casualties on the piles of Gores ain't too bad of a thing, I think. Show the dominance of the Khornate ethos as compared to that of the Nurglite. Anyway, advanced power shifts to about 90% in our favor. I'm going to try to do my best to chase down these Hounds of Decay, but unfortunately it's rather difficult. They're both quick and regenerative and shockingly large. They're not quite as big as a Blood Beast, but nearly so. Or maybe just Blood Beasts are rather tiny, but anyway. I'm pretty sure it's just the dogs are big. Anyway, the Hounds are booking it on out of there, and ooh, one of our units of Khorne Gores did lose in terms of fighting the Exalted Plague Bearers. But perhaps that's unsurprising, as Exalted Plague Bearers are extremely tough and have over 20,000 HP in SFO. 21,000 to be specific. And those armor piercing, 47 and 30. decently armor-piercing weapons of theirs. Oh, wow, look at that air on those two Khorne Gores, and neither one of them gets up from that. Nice charge from the enemy flyers, but it is a last hurrah sort of charge as the Hounds of Decay have shattered and only the flyers remain, them now being forced to come down rather than chucking those Death's Head projectiles at us. And it's just a matter of time as we overrun them and carry the day. There we go. Lovely. Oh, I like that this one's sort of mid-animation of dropping to the ground, but anyway, a close victory, and we bid farewell to Kugath. Alright, there we go. Nothing fancy, no problem at all, damaged or not. The enemy had too many infantry units to sort of stand up to our army. The main issue is I really wanted to chase down those Hounds of Decay, but unfortunately they were able to get away, and I'm sure that their regeneration also helped them out. And well, what can you do? This means we'll have to eat the turns since we won't be able to immediately capture it, well, between the turns, so what can you do? Devour Captives gives us the movement. I really wish again that you could see how many turns you have left on this, because how am I supposed to know? I can't know. I'm not keeping track of who has what for how many turns for every single army, because that's insane. I really need to hire some UX people, but anyway, what was I saying? Upkeep production versus Devour Captives. Well, you know what, we'll heal to full anyway. I'm gonna say Offers Tribute because we take it more rarely than Devour Captives. Kairos, you want peace and you're willing to offer us 10k. But I'm willing to bet that ain't gonna happen, and neither is that Scraggy. Again, due to the nature of limited allies, we are fighting almost everybody we come into contact with, so there's no need to peace out with anybody here. All we can do is build more armies and send more, send more to different borders and keep that faction variety in terms of foes up and running. And gotta admit though, this has probably been one of the most enemy variety heavy campaigns that we've done, maybe the most. There's been a lot of them is what I'm getting at. Anyway, you should make your way into here. Unfortunately, we have to get rid of one of the Khorne Gores because I don't think we'd get rid of anybody else here, so... Ice Court has confederated Urson Revivalists. It's actually quite interesting because it necessitates declaring war upon the Ice Court, which is fine, I suppose. Grawl the Blood Harvester. Who are you? Who's Grawl? Oh, right, you're this guy. Yeah, you're fine. You get that rating thing. What was I gonna do? Alright, we gotta get rid of one of the Khorne Gores. Let's see, who's the least experienced one? It is the first one by the looks of it. But that one's named, so I guess we'll go for the other one of these, whatever. Alright, delete you. Oh, it's always a shame to lose a high-ranked unit like this, but I want that cultist in here. There we go, it'll be worth it. And then you cannot resolve this and occupy it. Like so. And... oh, no rebellion? Oh, did they... oh, I guess it didn't rebel. Well, I guess the bonus public order counteracted it. Settlement destroyed, faction destroyed, or settlement taken, faction destroyed, rather. And ooh, the Skull Throne's back up, so let's take up that post-battle loot. He'll do that. Anyway, we gotta head to Flayed Rock now, hopefully before these guys do. Well, actually, I don't really care about Flayed Rock so much as going up to grabbing Goldtooth's territories. We also should probably leave this place so that we don't pick up the plague, so let's do that. And what did we keep here? The War Crucible, which we needed, and the Trophy Chamber, which we need. Oh, beautiful. So I'm just gonna hope that it doesn't rebel immediately, and then we should be able to not have to come back here. Alrighty, Skarby, what are we looking at here? Huh. So Trutch Craventail either backed off or died. I'm not entirely sure. We do have KARAZ-A-KARAK. If we raise the rats at the Pillars of Grugni, I presume that... should we? Again, I did say I didn't want to really go into the mountains like this. Alright, now we should clean this up and then meet all of our armies together to split them off again. We can send somebody else to hunt down the rats, essentially. I think that's what we'll do. Alright, I will think about this for a moment. Let's do other stuff first. So Tavi and Eddie and Co. I will want you to occupy Iron Rock, and then we'll head you up to KARAZ-A afterwards. Oh, you really need the iron here. Ooh, let's also build that cultist outpost of gold, and this is a green territory, so we can go straight to the trophy racks. You cannot move far, but you, Tavi, can. You're also going to get your own army. Funnily enough, Tavi's been with us since nearly the start. Wow, okay, you guys are starting to get damaged. You really need a cultist. Stand occupy, please, and sort of battle. Actually, not so bad. Keep hold of that for now, unless we get something better, but itemization's been rather difficult in this particular run. Let's go Dark Bastion, please, and you can delete the War Amphitheater. Well, actually, keep it for the turn for the at least a little bit of extra replenishment. It's not much, but it's better than nothing. You, make your way up here. And then, what do we have here? Brawler, I don't care for, so we'll mill you as soon as you stop moving. There we go. We need more cultists, so that's the important thing. Slaughterer is not bad, and Dripping with Blood's not bad. I'm not so big on Skullbelt, to be perfectly honest. Again, it's fine in some certain armies where you need that guy to be a duelist, but for those armies where that's not needed, then it's not necessary. Wild. Terrible. Absolutely atrocious. I mean, I guess if you want to go around just collecting skull piles with one of these guys, it's great, but I just don't think it's necessary. We have 80,000 skulls. And how close are we to the final dedication here? Pretty close? 5,000 short. All right. Nearly there. Couple turns away from Warhammer 40,000 skulls. Delivery. You need to be making that delivery, so go southward. Or travel through our own territory? Which would be faster. Honestly, they look to be about the same right now. Whatever. And, okay, this little army may be an annoyance, so I'm gonna say we will land the Gore Masters here, chase after them and annoy them, whereas the Doom Feasters will move this way. And then you... I mean, you're gonna lose most of your army soon anyway. Just move this way, whatever. Frankly, I think the elves are probably having too difficult of a time dealing with the orcs for us to, or for them to join the war against us anyway, so it won't make much of a difference. Major Rager. Baitweaver's crevasse is all the way back here, so we'll want to raise all of these places, although Skullcarver's abode does have a gold mine, so maybe we want to actually just straight up occupy it. We could sack it, though. It's a solid amount of money. Yeah, you know what? Sack it, and then occupy it. We're not in range of old tracks like this anyway, so occupy. Like this, and then immediately start, what is this? Trophy racks. Okay, keep those, repair this, and we'll build the gold mine. Ranger standard. Good. Alrighty, Skarby, I am continuing to ignore you, at least for now. Grawl the Blood Harvester, you unfortunately need to heal, and oh, we got a little Khornate Rebellion here, isn't that cute? I do wonder if the Khornate Rebellion will actually be attacking us. We'll just keep away from it, it very well might, but I would like you to transfer these 2 units for now. And then go back here. You guys, in the meantime, okay, so we got nearly the skull cannons there, beautiful. You need to switch to encamp, and then get your... Armored Skin Wolves. With that Incarnate Elemental, beautiful. And then you need to get 1 more Infernal Guard with Fire Glaze. If I can find... Oh, are we 1 point short? We are 1 point short, because of course we are. Game, alright. Eddie, let's use you to temporarily recruit that. I guess. But not now, because we can't afford it. Next turn. Shut up. Anyway, yeah, you are good. Also, are you gaining XP? Yes, you are gaining XP. And you are gaining XP? You are not. Alright, let's do this. Alright, keep all y'all leveling. Alright, the rest of that looks reasonably good. We still need you to get some skull cannons, but we need more skull cannon capacity for that. Actually, let's just take a quick look at our skull cannon capacity. Aha, we got 1 more. Do you want to start building those, or... I guess we could use Bloodbound to... Yeah, to deliver them. So let's build the skull cannon, let's build the blood shrine. And we'll see about the other stuff afterwards. Okay, that looks good to me. Just double checking that I didn't miss any armies creeping up on our undefended territories, but it doesn't look like it, so hopefully we'll be fine. Bat of the Storm Ravens and all of this annoyance. So now the Confederation means we have to declare war. These guys may very well go through... Oh! The Ice Court is not fighting the World Walkers? That's quite interesting. They're fighting Molder, and by the looks of it, having a decently difficult time with them. Oh, and I noticed that these guys have taken Karak-Vlag. I also don't like that. I wasn't intending to wipe you guys out, but frankly, it's looking more and more likely. On the bright side, the Legion of Asgore will be happy about it, but I did want more Chaos Dwarf and stuff. I will think about it. I don't much like sharing territory with them, especially if they get 2 irons, and obviously iron is at a very high priority for us. The only thing that's higher is gold. As weird as that seems for Khorne, who I feel like wouldn't really care that much about gold, but anyway, I digress. Let's move Path of the Storm Ravens in. Arbal, you're going here. We will join the war, I think, against these guys, because we should have... Also, what are our missions? Cadre Redmane. Who the heck is Cadre Redmane? Oh. Well, Skarby's about to kill him, so that's fine.
Blood will freeze. Your
Here's the thing. If we join war and Reichland gets drawn... Wait, if we declare war directly, Reichland gets drawn in, but then our vassals won't get drawn into the war against Reichland, which means we won't be able to take missions against Reichland. And I feel like I'd rather do that, so we'll ask Throt to join the war instead against the Ice Court. Like so. Yeah, would you relax? Good lord. Anyway, so this way we can directly declare war on Reichland afterwards without losing out on any... Sack value 25k? Wow, that's not bad. Oh, it's because it has a Stanitsa defense. Oh, probably means... I was about to say probably means we have to fight it, but we don't. I mean, we could, obviously. But I think we're okay. Auto resolve. And then we will take the ooh. I'm very tempted to sack it. It's 26k. You know what? I think we gotta. It's too much money to let go like this, and we will occupy it then because, well, you can't, so I guess we'll have to waste Arbal's turn to do it, even though he could move closer to the Howling Citadel. But I don't want to come back here, so we'll occupy it. Like this. Alrighty, good enough. And how's that leveling? Man, it actually takes so much longer to level Marauder Horsemen into Knights than it does Chaos Warriors into Knights. I should have just built more Chaos Warriors and swapped them into Knights, but what can you do? Anyway, Grawl, I've already checked on this. I'm mistaken. The Slaughtermasters, you need to just stay here as temporary units, and everybody else is good. Alright, so let's do building, and then we do Skarby attacking. As in attacking with Skarby, not attacking Skarby, although he'd probably be fine with it either way. Skill Harvester and Infernal Citadel for you. Southlands, yes, more Jugger plants. What do we have here? Demonic Fortress for more capacities. We do need Knight capacities, which in theory we should... Oh, I was about to say in theory we should easily acquire, but the fact that we're building Jugger plants in most minor settlements doesn't actually do anything for Knight capacity, which is apparently very difficult to get, since we only get 2 Knights of one of each kind per tier 4 settlement, which is kind of insane. But anyway, let's go for Trophy Racks in Libaras. What do we have here? Monolith of Bubonicas. Why not? Upgrade it, go for it. And keep getting those Trophy Racks. Funnily enough, we're still not completely sort of financially independent here. But we'll get there. Occam's Forever Maze, I decided to keep the defensive structure, but I think it's no longer needed. Although, what if the elves sail down here? What's the likelihood of this happening? You know, I keep it for now, and at least Rostro will be physically incapable of doing anything about it. Anyway, let's do the armory here and the trophy chamber. Another Jugger plant, another Dark Bastion, and another Trophy Rex, easy. Trophy chamber, and go figure. No, this is a Growing Rage because it's a yellow territory, and Bloodfire Falls you can repair for now and then go for the Trophy Racks. Alright, and we have money remaining. Isn't it lovely? How's our research rate? 254. Still need more. Always more. Alright, Skarby, it is time to take KARAZ-A-KARAK. I do wonder if Tretch Craventail's still there. These guys aren't damaged, but what if they fought in the same turn? If Tretch Craventail is there, it would be really nice to get his defeat trade, which is fantastic in SFO, but I really don't want to waste the turn if he's not there. Do we risk it? Oh man, because we probably won't come around this way again. The only problem is the war declaration will probably see the rats start attacking Ashridge Mountains and the Bone Gulch. We don't yet have an army to send there because these guys are all recruiting for it. And I'm willing to bet that the rats have a lot of armies running around. Well, maybe not as much as I thought. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna risk it. I hate to take away from Skarby's rampage, but if Tretch is in fact here in the Pillars of Grugni, we should take advantage of that. Please be there. The worst would be if he ran away somewhere. Alright, yes, he is there. Okay, it was worth it. It was worth it. Alrighty, now is he at war with anybody? He is allied with Goldtooth, who we are going to declare war upon. Tretch, please. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna straight up declare war on him. Now this is the way. What do we have in terms of defenses here? Not much, but I am interested to see the famed Rictus Storm Vermin and how they stand up to the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, so why not? Go into summoning stance, I think. Do we need levels for this? 1? No. We do not. Declare war. Sorry, Tretchy. Call your allies? Sure.
Never, ever.
Alright. Valiant defeat, you say? Really? I really don't see that being the case, but let's see what Tretch has got, Cap.
Leave nothing alive. Rejoice in slaughter. Bathe in blood.
Alrighty, here we go. There's almost no faction where it isn't of a huge benefit to find and kill Tretch Craventail. If he's close by, it's pretty much always the case. Now that'll go directly for him. His army-wide speed buff, it's either 5 or 10%, I don't remember, but it's always very much worth it. Anyway, Skarby will close the distance with poor Tretchy here. His axes dealing about 60% damage to him on the first hit. And I don't think Tretch is surviving this one. In fact, with a second hit, Tretch is already dead. Oh, poor fella. 2 hits. It is absolutely monstrous. And Skarbrand only hits for 1k, compared to the 1.4k of Skyla Anfingrim right now, who does admittedly have the chainsword, but still. But again, the weakness-causing anti-fire resistance does a decent bit of work. I'm actually surprised. I feel like Skarbrand should maybe actually hit harder. Yes, he already hits insanely hard, but compared to a few of the other lords, I've definitely seen Karl Franz hit well over 2k. And oh, Skarbrand's up to 1.4k. There we go. It's getting a little bit better. Maybe you just have to wait for him to slaughter enough things for his various abilities to upgrade him. Although part of that is the proximity of Karanak, who's in here somewhere, who's activated that Locus of Fury. Anyway, speaking of Karanak, we smash into the enemy's rear lines and immediately force the enemy artillery crews to rout, while our Chaos Warriors close the distance and begin fighting those Storm Vermin, those Rictus Storm Vermin to be specific. Better than regular Storm Vermin they may be, as Rictus is known for breeding tons of Storm Vermin. But are they going to be good enough to face off against the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, led by the Chosen of Khorne with them halberds? I don't think so is what I'm getting at. Alrighty, though the faster we kill these guys off, the less of that annoying frickin' net we'll see. And does Wait, just give me a second here. Scurry away, strength in numbers. Isn't it only Night Runners that do this? And there's a Night Runner unit right there. If they could at least only make that effect only affect one unit, but it seems like it affects basically everybody everywhere at all times. And yes, I will continue complaining about this net until it's gone. I don't care if it's forever. I hate it. And it's such a minor effect too. That's the thing that really bothers me. It's not just that it's ugly, it's that it isn't a major effect at all, but covers absolutely everything. But I suppose dealing with Skaven should have some annoyances. Anyway, we have the sort of forced... Oh, wow, I was about to say sort of forced the enemy main line to rout, but it looks like with the Storm Vermin having broken under the assault, the rest of the enemy army simply shattered, and the battle is ours. I don't imagine seeing Trutch Craventail killed in 2 blows was also all that great for morale. Although on the other hand, they're rats, so they might be amused by it before they run away. Anyway. Alright, there we go. I don't know what the auto-resolve was smoking on that. They had no chance whatsoever. Trudge got deleted in 2 hits by Skarbrand, and then... yeah. Oh, those poor little rats. Anyway, everybody did well, but, you know, cutting down droves of rats isn't the most difficult thing in the world, but it looks of it with 13k kills, or 13k kills, 13k damage and 161 kills. That's one of the Chaos Warriors doing the best for them, and the Bloodseekers with 183 kills beat out the other doggos. In terms of kill count, though, Karanak's pups do a little bit better in terms of damage dealt. Free Talisman of Preservation, which is always nice. Free... Almost tempted to raise a Blood Host here and send them out this way just to raise a few more territories, but I hate the capacity loss. But it is what it is. Alright, there we go, and this is why I wanted to make sure that we kill Trutch, the speed plus 10%. Now, I take it this has a skull cannon capacity. Now, because it does, I just want to see something. You are still generating your skull cannons, so will this just stop? And am I willing to risk it stopping? That's the real question here. I mean, I guess we could find out. We could also just delete this one, but just in case there's defenses at Mount Squighorn, I'd like to use them to raise it at least without having to force Skarby that way. I'll think about it. For now, though, what we are doing is going to KARAZ-A-KARAK. Like so. And close defeat, you say. I mean, it is KARAZ-A-KARAK, and they have plenty of defenders, but we're not waiting. I would love to fight them in the field, I really would, but I feel like it's a waste of time to just, you know, wait. So I think we're just going to hit them directly. Go.
Brutal torment. This is what we live for. This is Khorne's command.
Alrighty, here we go. KARAZ-A-KARAK, the last holdout, the capital of the dwarfs here, and all that remains of their factions, by the looks of it. Now, we've obviously done sieges both against the dwarfs and other factions in the past, and have made it fairly easy on ourselves, but we're not going to do that in this particular battle. The way that we've usually made it easy on ourselves is moving directly towards enemy artillery and taking them out, sometimes with summons, but more often than not just by closing the distance with Skarbrand himself and just forcing them all into rampage. I'm not going to do that this time. The enemy has 6 artillery pieces, including cannons, grudge throwers, and bolt throwers, and we will leave them to fire upon us as we fight, for at least a good amount of time. So Skarbrand is going to stay around the gate, and he'll force these guys to rampage. And he'll be fighting out here. Also, I was a little bit impatient. You can either just attack the gate directly with Skarbrand, or you could force the enemy around to rampage and then come out and play with Skarbrand, and that's what I decided to do this time around. Anyway, Skarbrand kills... Was that an enemy Rune Lord? I don't know. He kills something. Oh, the enemy Lord is here. Alright, so I don't know what that was. Rune Smith, I guess. I don't think it was a Thane. Pretty sure there was another Thane in here. Anyway, Karanak has moved in and is going to attack the enemy Rune Lord while Skarbrand's busy rampaging. Khorne's Bloody Fist is unfortunately taking about let's say 70% of his HP and damage. He went after an engineer here who's down at half HP on top of the walls, but being on top of the walls allowed the enemy cannon, bolt throwers, and all those range units to fire upon him. And of course those gyrocopters, which we can't really do anything about until we force them into rampage. And thusly, the Khorne's Bloody Fist was forced to back off. KARAK, and a little bit of help from the Gorgon there, now has the enemy lord down to about half of his HP, but with him being in the gate, it's keeping the gates open, and thus the Slaughter Guard and whatever monsters are attempting to attack it, not attacking it. Which ain't as great. And it's just a matter of time. We still have to break through the gate, but in case this assault on the gates fails, I doubt it, but just in case it does, we have sent in all of our units of corn dogs around, and they will break through these gates and move towards the enemy's backliners. Considering that's probably going to take them 5 minutes to sort of bite apart the dwarven gates, I don't know whether they'll actually be able to commit themselves to the fight, but we shall see. Anyway, some Iron Drakes with flamethrowers have decided to move up, and thusly KARAK is going to move to destroy them, together with a summon of Fleshhounds within the enemy settlement. And if we kill a few extra Dwarf Warriors or Longbeards, I certainly wouldn't complain. But obviously it's the Iron Drakes that are the critical unit. And by the looks of it, they're pretty much out of the picture. Alrighty, and Skarby has now been joined by the Gorgon inside the gate, as well as one of the Jabberslights. The gate is down to about 50% of its HP. Or wait, actually more. Yeah, 15 out of 25k, but we're getting there, slowly but surely. Again, if I had been patient, I would have just had Skarby knock it down himself, because he seems to be much faster at it than the other units attacking it. Probably because of his relatively hard-hitting and fast attacks. But all good. At least he's having fun inside the enemy settlement. Together with the Gorgon, the Blood Reaper, and KARAK, who has now switched to attacking the enemy's Thane. I do believe he hunted down the enemy lord. And oh, there's another runesmith in here. Well, it's just more treats for best pup here. Of course, Skarbrand could kill these guys in 2 hits, but might as well let KARAK have some fun here. And popping off that wounded prey, plus prey of the Blood God, plus the Rock of Inevitability, rather, to debuff the enemy. Dropping the Thane's melee defense down to 63, or now 67 from whatever it is. 100 or so, which admittedly is a lot, but it otherwise is going to take too long. Alrighty, and the Gorgon moves in to try to help out. The Thane is down to 5 or 10% of his HP. We're still waiting for that gate to break down, but the Thane has broken first, and there we go. With that, the gate at last falls. And as it does, the Slaughter Guards start taking mass amounts of damage from the enemy crossbows, from the enemy gunners, and all those enemy artillery pieces, which have been firing at us for this entire time. Some of them already having used up 50% of their ammunition, the grudge throwers in particular, which makes sense considering they are able to arc their shots. Certainly a little bit easier for them. And then, of course, the enemy also has another 2 artillery pieces, a cannon, another bolt thrower over on this side, firing. They've got a really good firing corridor here. Good for the AI for this. It's often really hard to get any use out of cannons in a settlement like this, just because they, look at all these millions of buildings blocking them off. So, good job to the AI on this one. Alright, and they continue firing into our blob. We can see that a lot of our Chaos Warriors of Khorne are down to about 50% of their HP, but are still making their way through the gate, under fire as they are. That said, once the enemy has run out of units guarding the 4 artillery pieces on this side of the map, we will send Skarbrand after them. And it does look like most of the enemy infantry here have collapsed, so Skarbrand is going to move to the 4 artillery pieces over on the left side. These 2, though, we're going to have to leave for now, while we make our way down the ramp, with the Gorgon leading the Chaos Warriors and the Slaughter Guard. And Khorne's Bloody Fist will not be left out of the fight. And ooh, I just saw the cultist take a massive volley of cannon fire, losing almost half of his HP. Definitely have to be careful about that. Might even warrant moving the cultist into the shadow of some of the buildings so that the cannons cannot fire upon him. Alright, and how are we doing? Oh, Khorne's Bloody Fist is severely beat up at this point, down to 5 or 10% of his HP. The cannon's still firing upon him together with the range units, and we're going to have to back him the heck out of there. Dodging the range fire as we move towards the escape zone. As soon as we leave the sort of buffing auras of our lord and heroes, the Khorne's Bloody Fist begins to melt away, but with 300 HP remaining, it looks like he will be able to make his way out of the battle and survive. He has a regiment of renown, so it wouldn't have mattered much, but all good. Anyway, in the way that we are making our way down the ramp on the right side, we're making our way up the ramp on the left. And with Skarbrand's activation of his second activation, or third activation of Rage Incarnate, we finally draw the artillery crews off of these artillery pieces, as there's basically no defenders left, and it's about time for them to stop firing, at least those two. There are the other two, or those four rather, there are the other two which will continue to fire, but we have opened a Greater Gate of Khorne, summoning the Bloodthirster on field, which admittedly loses about 30% of his HP. But does manage to close the distance with the artillery crews, which are now doomed. There we go. Gotta admit, this was absolutely the fun way to do this particular battle. We are pretty severely damaged, having allowed the enemy artillery to fire upon us. But Skarbrand causing everybody to rampage, you know, it feels appropriate in normal situations. Again, this is why I would have preferred to fight this as a field battle as well. But at the same time, with the sheer amount of enemy range and allowing the enemy artillery to fire, this made it a much more difficult battle than I think it would have been on field, since we would have been able to spread our units out rather than allow them to be forced into a choke point and severely damaged by all the enemy artillery. Anyway, not too many dwarfs left defending now. At the very least, most of their melee troops have gone, and without them to protect their quarrelers, they will be cut down. In fact, by the looks of it, with only a single unit of miners and the warriors of Dragonfire Pass left as melee units, the rest of the enemy army will shatter, KARAZ-A-KARAK will fall, and the Dowie shall be wiped out. We did claim the skull of Thorgrim earlier, and he did not revive by the time we came to cast down his capital. Ooh, alright, there we go. A close victory with extremely severe damage to Khorne's Bloody Fist, thanks to all of the bolt throwers and the cannon and all the artillery, generally speaking, and a giant pile of range units firing away at it. Fortunately, Skarby himself was able to eat many of those, well, at least small arms fire bolts and bullets, but yeah, very dangerous for Khorne's Bloody Fist, as well as the Cultist of Khorne on that big fat target of a War Shrine of Khorne. But A, KARAZ-A-KARAK should be tough. It should be a tough battle, and it was. A, and B, we did let those artillery pieces, you know, work on purpose, because it made the battle more entertaining, rather than immediately forcing them into rampage with Skarpy's ability. Anyway, though, admittedly, at the same time, I do feel like, you know, Khorne forcing a bunch of, you know, the madness of Khorne forcing all of the artillery crews to actually just go into melee and, you know, try to rip everybody apart with their, you know, teeth would make a lot of sense, as in I can see the, you know, sort of loreful aspect of it. It's just that for this particular battle, I felt like KARAZ-A-KARAK should have its artillery to defend. Anyway, we got 21k out of it. It is a main settlement, so I feel that we should occupy it. I guess we'll sack it and occupy it just because it's a lot of money and it's a tier 3, so we take it down to tier 2 anyway, so it's, you know, the level doesn't really matter that much, but the gold does, so we'll take the gold. Sack it. Again, much as I hate to waste Skarby's movement range, it is what it is, so we'll occupy it like so. And with that, KARAZ-A-KARAK is destroyed. And this is a green territory, so we won't need the War Amphitheater, technically. And this will repair and then switch to the Immortal thing. Although, we could also use more skull cannon capacity. Although, actually getting this to be tier 4 to get that skull cannon capacity, yeah, we'll see. Anyway, we got building, and that's about it, unless I'm mistaken. Just to double check, although I'm pretty sure I did it already. So, building. We have Demonium Hills. You can go to Infernal Citadel, and that's it. Alright. I guess it was only one fight, so we weren't going to get that much growth from it, but some is better than none. Alrighty, and I believe that should have also completed our mission, so I gotta double check those next turn. Nobody else is besieging anything, so I think we can end the turn. Alright, ow, commandment available. Where is commandment available? Whatever, I don't care, I'll check next turn. Yeah, we're not gonna... What is this? Oh. Garbage. We're not going to send Skarby into the Empire as yet. We'll just keep him around here for a little while because I want to split off his units into other armies. Rather than have... Because he's already maxed out the levels on the... Slaughter Guard. Well, not the Slaughter... Okay, they start at max. You know what I mean. The Chaos Warriors of Khorne with halberds. And those were earmarked for a different army, and now that they're maxed out, there's really no need to waste them in Skarbrand's army. Also, I'm still shocked that the auto-resolve doesn't like Skarbrand's army in its current form. I find that weird. A lot of super heavily armored units, but anyway. Damage building? How dare you? You sicken me. What is this? Trophy racks damaged. Okay, fair enough. Enemy killed in battle, province secured blood marshes. Sure. Where's the blood marshes here? Oh, yay! 30% per skulls from buildings. We don't have a single building that generates skulls, but thanks, game. Thanks. Go for kill for Khorne, please. Settlement receives plague, that I'm not surprised by. And the bleeding spire is drawn to destruction. Ah! That is this place, so let's immediately upgrade you as well. Alrighty, Skarby, starting from the top once again. First of all, we'll send the blood hunters this way. We'll just auto-resolve this because I don't feel like fighting it. And we will raise the place for the Skull Crown. Like so. Then you will need to march this way, and you might get ambushed and killed, but also I don't care, so that's your problem. Alrighty, then, Ghoulgast. I would like you to move all the way up here. You'll suffer a little bit of attrition, but at the same time, you can move as far as you'd like, and I think we'll turn off Mad's map after this, because we don't want to get teleported right now. Much as I love the extra movement range, it's already screwed us over like 3 times, and it's best in the water and not on land. So, Mad's map is out, and I don't think we've gotten an extra healing potion. We could give you Death Singer, although I was going to give this to either the Demon Prince or an exalted bloodthirster, and I feel like that's still better, because they're bigger targets, therefore they need regeneration more, don't they? At least I think so. Anyway, Skarby. Since you're not going this way, we'll send you back to Akendorf, I guess, to occupy it. You have how many more turns of... just the one last turn of Slaughter Incarnate, and sadly you can't reach anything with it. Yeah, oh well. We still have profit, so we're okay. And besides, you want to split some stuff off, so it's fine. Oh, would you look at that? One of the Imperials is coming down. Huh. And you guys are really going to be claiming all that territory, eh? Where are you fighting? You're fighting nobody. I don't like that. Alrighty, ally missions. Who is most likely to get killed by us? I guess Malkrad. And then you... Karakangazar camp. Skarby should be able to reach that in a turn or so, so let's take that. Then, you are still recruiting for 2 turns. You... Oh, okay, we need to do some stuff. Alrighty, so first of all, Bloodbound. I would like you to take all 5 of the Skull Cannons for pike and shot, and the Infernal Guard with Fireglaves also for pike and shot. This is going to Skarby, but that's in a different direction, so we'll have somebody else deliver it. So I think we'll just take these guys for now. Technically speaking, you are all going to be in Bloodbound's army, in theory. So I think maybe he'll keep them for now. I don't know where I was going to put all the additional blood shrines, but I guess he could keep them as well. Well, actually, you know what? I'd keep those here for now. I will think about it. There is other potential. And I think the rest of this is good for now. In theory, these guys are also supposed to go to an army. You know what? Take these guys as well. I have an idea. Yeah. Let's do that. Alrighty then, let's start moving back this way. And you know what? Maybe briefly help Graal Carnalitas raise Ekrund. There's some defenders there, but it's not, you know, worth our time. And oh! I wonder if these guys might sail towards Granty Mingol immediately. Also, let's get rid of the War Crucible now. We certainly don't need it here. Though we are still fighting around, and the additional post-battle loot isn't the worst thing in the world, but nonetheless. Well, either way, you guys stay here. Graal Carnalitas, is there anything else you want to recruit? No, it doesn't look like it, so no. You, Vashnar. We will use somebody else to recruit other stuff. What you currently have, we're sending northward, and somebody else will recruit out of this place. So let's say... Seeker of Battle has Khorne Demon Reduction. You could do Mortals plus Demons with your army if we wanted to. Bloodspeaker, Pure Hatred, Post-Battle Loot, and Violent Killer is sort of nice and generic as well, if we want another Bloodspeaker. And I'm going to say start with the Bloodspeaker, and then if there's anybody else, then we will... You know, we can always use somebody else. You, Inspiring Presence and Root Marcher, and is there anybody else that we want to recruit right now? Yes, Wrathmongers, most definitely. Do I have the recruitment reduction here? Yes. Yes, I do. Does anything here help with recruitment levels? Technically Unholy... Wait, no, not Unholy Resilience. Renown and Fear does, but it's going to be a long time till you can get to that, so just ignore it for now. We could get more Chosen of Khorne here, but it's not super needed. I was going to do some spawns, so let's do... FU spawn and start building them. I don't know how many, just keep building spawn until I grow tired of it. Oh, we got more Chaos Knights as well. Build those Chaos Knights. Like so. I'm reasonably happy with that, at least for now. What is up next? Okay, so we got Tavi and all of these guys, and Eddie. You guys are supposed to head to Carrick-Drawn. I guess we'll just march stance you up here. I don't want to spend multiple turns heading to Drawn, so yeah. And then Tavi and Moxia, you're both going to head up there and leech, although Moxia, you're supposed to get units, and Eddie's supposed to... Okay, you're all supposed to get units. Take Drawn and then move here to meet with Skarbrand and then all of these armies at once. Alright, Major Rager. You are heading to the Fate Weaver's Crevasse, but for now, you'll head to Volol Trex. Oh, the Lost Palace. Ooh, you might, hell, whoa, 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 whoa. The Lost Palace? Huh, these guys have taken the territory past the Fate Weaver's Crevasse? Yeah, I was probably too cowardly to attack Fate Weaver's Crevasse directly. I take it. Huh, well, we'll be fighting them both in short order, so, you know. Maybe around the Fate Weaver's Crevasse we use Dimensional Tears, just because. And then we no longer need this here, do we? Also, you guys, go northward. Yeah, just go northward. Still help to defend this area, sort of. We'll delete you all eventually, but for now there isn't any need. Alrighty, who's next? Graal, you are waiting for these guys to join up. Wait. We should have enough. I wanted somebody to ally recruit those fire glaives. Do we have any free lords that we could get on field? No. Alright, fine. Just take the, I'm gonna say Seeker of Battle then. Weapon Strength Lord's Army, Banner of Unholy Victory. I mean, that's fine, but it isn't anything crazy, right? Yeah, just take the Seeker of Battle. And if I have to delete you, I'll delete you later. For now, though, we'll use you to globally recruit, the Fire Glaives? Yes, 33. I wish that the allegiance cost wasn't so much, but it is what it is. And I might go for a third armored skinwolf here, potentially. We shall see. Alrighty, that looks good to me. Who's up next? I already checked Graal, Pav the Storm Ravens, and Arbal. You're all march stancing northward. Oh, I also did want to replace the Beastman Giants with Norscan Giants because they're so much better.
Unrivaled in any realm.
Yeah. The Beastman Giants, they don't even confer any kind of buff, really. I do like the Bestial Monster Dominance, but pretty much any Beastman unit does that, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Norscan Giants are just way superior. Go figure. Ooh, Rank 7? No, you need rank 8 to become a Chaos Knight. Oh, come on. He just wants his Chaos Knights, man. And we only have capacity for 2, so it's not like we'd be able to get, well, get them up here anyway. Anyway, I believe that's it. Alright. Let's do the building. Let's do the turn ending. Teotihuacan, you. Demonic Fortress, you. Dragon Isles, more trophy chambers for more loot. Atalan Mountains, ooh, yes, another Juggerplex. Juggerplex supplants the Jugger plant for more Jugger, as in Juggernaut units eventually. Chaos Knights for now. Ugh, +1 per tier 4. Absolute insanity. Alright, go for the Cornate Tribune. Where's the Tribute? Tribute would have worked too. Kennels, there we go. All for capacity. Now, all the research that we can get. And what are we getting now? Okay, wait, it's gotta be something else. It's that bug where it shows you the previously completed tech, but it isn't that right now, so I would... wait a moment. Yeah, no, we're fine. Eastern Badlands, let's go for the Infernal Citadel, we'll go for the Trophy Chamber, and we'll go for the Jugger Plant. Or the precursor to it, KARAZ-A-KARAK. You can... hang on for Soul Cape. And then start on the Cultist Camp. If we want to recruit heroes, we can recruit them here a little bit closer to all of our units, though admittedly with lower levels. And then lastly, the Tower of Torment, upgrade, Salt, and actually, you know what? Go for the Trophy Racks, just because it's going to bother me that these are all in the same place and the Salt isn't. Although admittedly other stuff would, whatever, shut up. Anyway, let's see, heroes. Let's see if we got anything good now. What do we have? Bloodseeker? No, terrible. Decent name, garbage trait. Bloodright is fine, but nothing crazy. I really want the Commander one. And Exiles of Khorne, another Bloodseeker, really? Now we're getting the bad traits, but that's alright. Now that we have the money, we can mill every turn, and it's not like we're in a hurry, especially since we could start recruiting them at KARAZ-A-KARAK, where the armies meet up. Anyway, skip. Commandment. Don't skip that. Kill for Khorne or... no, blood tribute still. The anti-plague is quite valuable here. And Ruin's End. Repair and repair. Why did I keep this again? Oh, I kept this because if these guys take a territory that we want, we'd be able to trade them for it, so it makes sense. Yeah. Also, we gotta grab that iron before the Chaos Dwarfs do. Pretty important. I did the missions. I did not, however, check the regular Diplo for about 8 years, so let's see if there's anything interesting here. Maggot Coast, oh wow, we could actually vassalize Tamarkan if we really wanted to. Oracles of Zinch want peace, that we don't care about. Huh, interestingly, Trudge Craven Tail is not asking for peace. Go figure.
I must eat, feed.
Yeah. I was just interested to see what the auto-resolve would say. Then techs, we have got Skulls of the Enemy. -2 turns for individual cooldowns for individual Skullthorn ritual. Yes, that will be very nice. And then we'll have to figure out what we want to go next. Ooh, +2 control for every concurrent war with a neighboring faction. I do like that. And the anti-plague thing, considering we may run into more Skaven plagues. Admittedly, again, we've been completely ignoring all of our military techs. But we'll see. I guess we could just do... oh, this is just recruitment reduction. We'll keep ignoring those for now. End turn. I would like it so... I can't believe I forgot you. I thought I looked at everybody. Wow. Damn me. Oh well. Ha! I could have actually used Bastion then to recruit the units instead of summoning this fella. Oh well. And ambush, that's not surprising, and Warpstone Slice Blade, good for you. Oh, a little tiny army. Not of concern. Actually, Eddie, if we... Gorbad, what do you want? We're busy. If we give to Eddie a couple of units from Bastion's army, he'll be able to move to fight the rats immediately, so I think we'll send him there. Because his army is the only one that's basically complete here. Right Awakening from Itza, not a problem. Killed in battle, the Blood Hunters, again not a problem. Province secured, the Demonium Hills. Is this our... oh yes. You can go into... Where's the Khornate Corruption? Khorne Corruption +6, Khorne Corruption adjacent provinces +3, but there's no anti-corruption, is there? When the characters in the adjacent provinces go away, this should in theory drop, so I think we'll be fine. Just go for blood tributes. And then technology researched, Shattered Stone Bay and Dragon Fang Mount receive plagues, and yeah, I think we do want the anti-plague thing, just because it's irritating. And I want to see it every turn. That's here. Under Siege, Winds of Magic Powers are +2 per turn. That's actually quite nice. Yeah, fine. Go all the way to the Way of Wrath. Alright. Someone receives Plague, someone receives Plague, and Zinch is now Ascendant, but that's fine. Sword of Cain, Drawn to Destruction, Castle of Splendor, and Crucible of Delights, and the Pillars of Grugni. We will upgrade these in a bit. I say as I immediately start upgrading stuff, and... Huh? Did I not attack you? Oh, I besieged you, and why didn't I attack you? Huh, I guess I just forgot about this guy. Alright, I was trying to go to the next turn quicker and then promptly forgot about this. Alright, auto-resolve this, and... Almost tempted to raise a Blood Host here, but with only 4... Oh wow, we're at minus 14k. Now we need to sack the place. Alright, no choice in the matter, I think, and then we'll occupy it. And just so we don't have to come back to it. Alrighty, you guys stay near here, and then you guys will want to go to our own territory to defend against the elves who... Oh wow, they've actually been retaking some territory. Good for them. I'm pleasantly surprised. They might actually survive for us to fight a few more elves. Go figure. Now, Bloodbound. And... Oh, you guys are... Huh. That's interesting. We'd have to deal with these guys, but maybe we'll be fine. You know what? If you march stance... Actually, you can regular stance into this. Send you here. We'll have you attack. With you two together, this should be a quick little auto-resolve. Decisive victory, low casualties. Auto-resolve. We do have a lot of skull cannons. Oh, really? So, their basic bloodletters killed just as many of our exalted. Their basic, unbuffed, un-anythinged bloodletters with 1,000,000 artillery piece support kill more... Maybe not more, but actually... If we don't count the flesh hounds, look at that, 751 losses. This is insane, right? Like, this is the auto-resolve being absolutely insane. There's nothing here that would make any of this kind of loss... I don't know what to say. Frickin' auto-resolve, man. Anyway, I'm not surprised, but I am annoyed. Let us go for Devour Captives. Now that means these two are gonna have to raid for another turn, because this probably won't let us occupy it. Yeah, it'll kill off half the units. We could just fight it and then use our artillery to bring down the walls and such, but I don't know. I'll think about it. I might do it between the episodes, but I also might forget, so I wouldn't count on it. Anyway, Skarby, you're gonna go to Akendorf. And I guess you will want to occupy it. Resolve, and... Okay, that damage I was expecting. Alright, occupy. Because it's a capital settlement, and you can switch to Soul Keep, and this is kind of the gateway out of the Empire, so I might actually build some defenses here. Maybe. We'll think about it at the very least. Anyway, Eddie, I would like you to proceed to KARAZ-A. I assume that Bastion can't reach you. Just give me a minute, give me a minute. Alright, I assume the Bastion can't reach you. And, ooh, we do have Fury's Flight, but Skarby's so damaged at this point that maybe we'll just use it next turn. Actually, yeah, I think we'll just use it next turn. Huh, though funnily enough, we could recover his movement and his, Wait a moment, let me think about this. I mean, could recover his movement via Eternal War, and recover all of his HP and keep him moving. Though on the other hand, there isn't really any need to. Look at all that. Piles of Nobbler scrap launchers. Also, you should keep recruiting stuff. Although, there isn't really anything here that we need to recruit. I might just get some random stuff. You know what? Furies wouldn't really help here, but get a few of them. Although the minus 12k per turn is kind of iffy at this point. Maybe let's not go overboard. Anyway, Bastion, you will not be able to reach these guys, so what we will do is send Tavi here to reinforce, send Moxia here to reinforce, we'll raise Drawn with you and then back off, just like Rick Sliceblade is doing. Otters, oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. Really? Does this have a defensive structure? It doesn't even have a defensive structure. Game. Although we are so hurt that it might be a fun enough fight to actually fight. Alright, fine. Why not? Eddie, you can get Herald of Khorne and then get Vengeful Companions. Then I would like you to... You have Blood-Soaked Champions. That includes Forsaken. I think I checked this an episode or two ago. Forsaken is here somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, they're here out of Ferocious Hunters. I do like the speed and the charge bonus. But we have Harbingers of Death, so we're gonna do this instead. Then Kill for Khorne, obviously Khorne's Chosen, Revel and Slaughter. We will also have... Yeah, just Rush to Slaughter for the Minotaurs. Alright. It's a teensy bit better. Then... You have no heroes, therefore we're just gonna fight this. Why the heck not?
Hunter of souls, Lord God.
Alrighty, the Eddie here seems to be pretty excited about this whole situation, and once again the piggies do look a lot better with the Chaos Warriors than they did with the Marauders, in my opinion. So they should work nicely here. We are of course damaged going into this, but I still don't imagine it'll be too much of a problem. We are, however, going to wait a little bit, as we do have the Demon Prince, and I'm sure he'll want to fight at least a bit. There's an enemy Black Orc Big Boss to duel after all. And it is a new Demon Prince that wants to play. And we gotta evolve, I don't know, there was some guy that I wanted to evolve into an exalted bloodthirster as well. Though admittedly we have been seeing bloodthirsters pretty much since the start of the campaign of various kinds, thanks to both Skarby and the Bloody Fist of Khorne summonable at rank 4, and the non-stop summons with our cultists. But anyway, here we go. Time for the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, backed up by the Razor Gores, to face off against Black Orcs and Biggins. And we'll see how effective that is. Now we do have to be careful about the piggies in terms of their melee defense being extremely low at only 24, so we use them to charge on in. We'll do a little bit of damage, a little bit of bleed application, and then we'll back them out. And then allow all of the Chaos Warriors to sort of take their position at the front of the line, and then we'll send the piggies right back into where they can use them as meat shields. In the meantime, the Demon Prince will close the distance with the Black Orc Big Boss, which was in fact just standing there, awaiting for his arrival. Seems like the appropriately orky thing to do. And duel the biggest and the baddest that we've got. Unfortunately for the Black Orc Big Boss, I think it's bit off more than it can chew, losing about half of his HP for about 5 or 10% of that of the Demon Prince, and some of that may actually have been to range fire, so I fear the Black Orc Big Boss is doomed. Alrighty, anyway, in the meantime, our Forsaken have closed the distance, waiting until all of our armies have started to fight, and then going after the critical enemy units, namely the enemy large units, Trolls and Boar Boys, with the 70 weapon strength that we have, plus a 20 bonus versus large, absolutely ludicrous melee attack bonus, but no melee defense, means that we will tear these enemy large units apart. A little bit less effectively, however, against the enemy piles of Orc Arrow Boys, we can rely on our fast frenzied attacks, but we also do expect to take damage fighting them, because we have no melee defense to speak of. But again, I really like the very much rock, paper, scissors, very specific niche that the Forsaken of Khorne have in SFO. It makes them very different from all the other Forsaken. Although admittedly they are suffering, they've already lost 30% of their HP in terms of just fighting a unit of Orc Arrow Boys, who've only lost about 50%. They're barely winning. A unit winning slightly, yeah, which you wouldn't expect, as you would expect a unit of Forsaken to absolutely annihilate a unit of Orc Error Boys, but again, in SFO, they have their own specific niche to work towards. Anyway, it looks like we won't need to fight those Error Boys anymore because they will shatter. In the meantime, the Chaos Warriors, whether it be the Sword and Board or the Twin Axes, are overrunning the enemy main line. And it looks like with that, the enemy army will shatter, and the battle is ours. But we got to compare the work of the Forsaken here, in the way that they absolutely obliterated the enemy large units, the Trolls and the Boars, over on the right flank, but had a little bit more trouble with the enemy Error Boys. Alright, there we go. Forsaken of Khorne are such an interesting unit in SFO. I mean, they will lose, basically, or just barely beat Orc Error Boys. They'll take an insane amount of damage like these guys did, just trying to defeat a unit of Error Boys in a one-on-one, which, you know, seems a little bit odd, but at the same time, they will absolutely annihilate a unit of Trolls or a unit of Boar Boys thanks to their anti-large bonus. They have no melee defense, so they're, so even the Orc Error Boys are able to, you know, kill off their models and such, but their melee defense doesn't really matter over much against things like Trolls and such, and they just mob them and obliterate them. It's really interesting. Plus, of course, they're Forsaken, so they're fast and they can chase things down. Anyway, the Doomed Challengers in Forsaken and Exiled with 16 and 20, nearly 21k damage. Very solid. And doing either better or on par with the best performing units of regular Chaos Warriors. Ooh, Piggies. Good job. 24k damage. But that's Piggies for you, and 22k damage on you. They got bleed on them. Our Demon Prince, Moxia, was also able to annihilate the enemy Lord, which I'm pretty happy with. Anyway, we will sack the place for skulls because we want to move backwards right now, much as I'd like the money as well. Then, I would like you, sir. How far can Bastion move? Don't tell me you guys are just too far from each other. I think you're gonna be just slightly too far from each other. Either way, you guys all back off for now. Certainly away from the rats. And, okay, you go here. And I would like you to deliver these 2 Minotaurs of Khorne with great weapons to Eddie. Like so. Leaving Eddie with 17 out of 20. That's... oh no, I was trying to remember what I was gonna put in here. I believe 2 cultists and 1 exalted hero of Khorne. Was that what I was going to do here? I assume that's what I was going to do here. Alright, fair enough. Then cultists. I think of the cultist types, if we can't get the Tormentor one... hey, we got another menace. That's good. We will want you on field. Not for that army, but for another army. Cultist, Bloodright, and... oh, I don't like either of these. Okay, delete Bloodright. I wanted Sundering Armor for that particular army. Battlemaster, yes, this is, wait, level 6 versus level 4. You know what, I'm just gonna take this one because he's closer. Battlemaster, the commander thing. Bolstered command. And this is what I want to put into Mr. Skarby's army. And I suppose if I was gonna put a Exalted Hero of Khorne in this army, we could do either... we could do Dripping with... wait, we don't need Dripping with Blood because we already have the blood effects. Although, the Dripping with Blood one would work with a different army. I guess we could do Slaughterer then. You know what, just so I don't get them confused, I'm gonna get them both here. You and you. You're marked for 2 different armies. And then what about the cultists? I already checked the cultists. And I don't care for them. Alright, or at least I don't care for the head hunter, head taker, whatever it was. Anyway, I think, folks, with that, we're pretty much out of time, and I'm going to have to call this particular episode here. Next time, like I said, I don't necessarily want to go through to the Empire as yet, but it depends on if we can meet everybody up and then split off 2 or 3 armies to go into different directions and, well, have Skarby do something a little bit different. We got other moves to make, of course, and those moves shall be made. We've got... lots of deliveries to do, and we gotta watch out for this. Watch him come down to Volol tracks. Well, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens next time, so stay tuned for more Khorne, at least for a few more episodes. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, as they will determine how long this campaign continues to run for. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.